When I was a child, the most constant sound in my life was the wind hitting the windows of the orphanage. That place sat atop a hill, surrounded by gray walls and trees that always seemed sad. I arrived there at 6, not fully understanding why my parents hadn't come to get me. I remember asking the director, and she would just say, "They're in a better place." But I never knew if it was true or just a rehearsed line to quiet difficult questions. The orphanage had dozens of children, but I was always the quietest. I liked hiding in the old library where the books smelled of dust and forgotten stories. There, I found a sort of peace. I read everything I could, novels, old newspapers, even science manuals. I dreamed of leaving and seeing the world, building something that was completely mine. Some caregivers said I had an adult mind, but deep down it was just fear of continuing to be invisible. Among all the children, there was a girl named Lara. She had a stubborn smile and a huge heart. She spoke for both of us because I barely opened my mouth. Lara said that one day we would leave that place and open a bookstore. "It will have coffee, music, and walls full of our stories," she said, dreaming big. And I believed her. The years went by and everyone was adopted, except us. We were the two big ones, a nice way of saying nobody wanted us. When we turned 18, we were forced to leave. I got a job at a warehouse, carrying heavy boxes, and she worked at a cafe. Sometimes we would see each other at the end of the day, tired but grateful to still have each other. One day, though, Lara disappeared. I went to the cafe and was told she had left with a young man who promised to help her study abroad. I waited weeks, then months, but she never returned. It was like losing the last piece of my childhood. From that day on, I promised never to depend on anyone. I worked, studied at night, and earned a scholarship to study business. I slept little, ate poorly, but every achievement reminded me that the boy from room 7 was finally stepping out of the shadows. Years later, as an adult, I opened my own business. Small at first, but honest. I worked with used and donated books, a quiet tribute to that childhood dream. Every corner of the shop held a piece of what I missed. Dusty shelves, quiet nooks for reading, and even the old scent of books. People came in every day, some looking for rare books, others just wanting to get lost among the shelves, and it gave me a deep sense of purpose. One day a woman walked in. She wore a yellow coat and held a tattered book. It took me a few seconds to recognize that smile. It was Lara. She told me that the young man had deceived her, that she had been alone for a long time, but she never forgot about our dream bookstore. We talked for hours, laughed, cried, and remembered every corner of the orphanage. I realized that despite all the challenges, our experiences had shaped us and made us stronger. At the end, she said, "You did what you promised. You turned silence into something beautiful." And I realized that, deep down, we were still those two kids trying to find a home. Only now, we had one. Today, when I close the bookstore at night, I sometimes hear the wind against the windows and think of the children still living up there in the orphanage. I send boxes of books with a simple note. To those who still dream, never give up. I was once there too. Every time I receive responses from those children, I get emotional. They tell me about their dreams, about how the books help them keep going. I feel that, in a way, we are still connected, even from a distance. And every time I write this, I feel that the boy from room 7 has finally found his voice. Today I know it is possible to turn pain into something beautiful, and that even the hardest memories can become bridges to hope. The bookstore has grown, but it has never lost the sense of refuge and comfort I always sought. The children's stories continue to inspire me, and I've learned that helping others find their voices is as important as finding your own. Every time a child enters and smiles at the books, I remember that nothing I lived through was in vain.